Listen, man, I've been doing politics for a long time and I've seen a lot. And in the Trump era, you never know what you're going to get, but I've never seen a Muslim candidate for Senate in Michigan talk about circumcision live on Fox News and then demand to see if the Fox host is circumcised. And that just happened on Fox News. Here we go.
Need to be made by sex changes for minors. Do you support that? Look, I remember having great conversations with my conservative friends about right to try legislation. The idea that the government shouldn't tell you what kind of health care you should have. I just think the government shouldn't tell you what kind of health care you should have. And if you're a minor,
you want to try on kids?
Now, if you disagree with that, if you disagree that healthcare decisions need to be made by a doctor and their parents and a patient, then we think we agree to disagree. But, you want to put government inside.
So, Abdul, you're a doctor, right?
Selectively. I am.
So you think it's okay for a parent to slash his kid's thing-a-ling off? You think that's okay?
I mean, do you really want to have this conversation? Are you circumcised?
Yeah, but I mean, that's a
Jesse,
personal question.
Okay,
doctor.
So you probably should want to move on.
Is circumcision's different than castration?
I think it's a problem. It's a problem that you think that you get to decide what happens between a parent, a doctor, and a patient. And I'm just saying that, yes, circumcision is surgery on a kid's ding-a-ling. So if you really want to bring that up, you can. I just think you guys are really selective about how you want to talk about these things.
Abdul, Michigan's not going for that. That is sick stuff. Boys playing in girls' sports.
I'm not advocating anything. I'm just saying.
What about that?
So the question, again, Jesse, you have not asked me one time about the issues that people actually care about in Michigan.
No, I'm pretty sure I have no idea how many people are circumcised or uncircumcised in Michigan. But if you're going to say that if you are circumcised, you're transgender, and that is what he just said. He just compared circumcision to cutting an entire penis off of a child. Circumcision and castration are not the same thing. Abdul, WTF, Abdul El Said, again, the Democrat candidate, socialist for Senate in Michigan, says circumcision is the same thing as a sex change for minors. Oh, okay. These people are indeed sick. It gets worse. I don't know if I've ever seen an interview actually go worse. Jesse Waters deserves, by the way, huge credit for this. I don't think I've ever seen anything go as bad for a candidate than watching him make excuses, not only that every circumcised man is actually a transgender, but that people who molested children should stay in this country. Killing it here.
On this, you want to abolish ICE. Who's going to deport the criminal aliens from the country?
Well, you and I both know that long before we ever had ICE, we had INS. We were able to enforce our immigration policies without shooting people in the face and the back of the head. And we just celebrated our 250th anniversary. That was an anniversary of throwing away tyranny. Now, to bring that tyranny back under the guise of the U.S. government itself, that seems to me to be inconsistent with the freedom you and I both love.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a dodge, Abdul. They did the same thing as ICE back then, INS. Do you know how many illegal aliens are in the country now?
People in the face and the back of the head.
Do you know how many illegal aliens are in the country now?
To your point, Jesse, let me just answer the question. To your point,
how many do we have?
Fewer when we had INS. To your answer, we had
exactly.
far fewer when we had INS. So arguably, INS worked a lot better.
Abdul, listen, we had twice as many illegals now when we had INS.
So to your argument,
you have to have the manpower to do it.
If you want to do that correlation, we have ICE now, and we have far, far more undocumented people. So the face and the back of the head. So
well,
if you're okay
illegals
with
are
that,
shooting people in the face too.
To disagree.
Abdul, you got a guy in Michigan.
So are American citizens.
You got a guy. Let me just say something. Okay,
to get back to the conversation about the broader issues.
Okay.
Well, you cut me off, Jesse, and you said we're going to have a good conversation. So I'd like to do that. I just want to answer the point. When I travel the state, and I have traveled my state, more people are asking me about how they're going to afford their gas and groceries. They're not asking me about immigration.
Well, they also don't want to get molested. Abdul, you got a guy here from Southeast Asia molested a kid. ICE just picked him up. You want that guy to stay in Michigan?
I'm glad that that guy got picked up, but that's a different thing than saying that INS would not have picked him up. Jesse, you're too smart for this.
It's a bureaucratic game you're playing, and that's a dodge.
You point to him, you say,
you need guys to get these guys out of the country.
And therefore, ICE, we need ICE. I'm just saying, look, playing by your own rules. When we had INS, we had fewer people doing the things that you're talking about.
That's because Biden didn't blow open the border back then.
When we had that.
All right, that's because Biden didn't blow open the border back then.
That's not an ICE question. That's a CBP question.
No, Jesse, you guys let in a ton of people, and we got to get them out, and we'll take the guys out the way we need to take them out.
I mean, wild, man. Wild. You got a guy here who's molesting. It's just a nightmare. The meltdown here throws his support behind sex change surgeries for minor. He plays an Abdul El Sayed 2022 clip where he talks about banning Sharia law and how it's driven by white supremacy.
You said getting rid of Sharia law was white supremacy. Let's roll the tape. Go.
I don't have to tell you that the same exact forces that drove native peoples from their land 2 centuries ago, destroyed Black Wall Street a century ago, bombed a building decades ago, and tried to ban Sharia law not a decade ago, that those forces are alive and well today.
So getting rid of Sharia law is white supremacy. Can you explain that one?
Do you know what canon law is? Jesse, I assume you're Christian, right?
Yeah, tell me.
All right, so canon law is the name for Christian law. I don't begrudge you your right to practice your faith as you choose. I don't know why the idea that I could practice my faith as I choose is a problem. Nobody is trying to push Sharia law on anyone else, just like I hope nobody is trying to push canon law on anybody else, because we live in an America where you should have the freedom of your religion. So the idea that you have somebody like Tommy Tuberville, right, who, you know, barely was good at coaching football, is out here trying to ban Sharia law when there's less than 1% of the Muslim community in America, as if somehow Muslims are out here trying to push Sharia law, that seems to me to be deliberately targeting the Muslim community because they're different. And I'm just saying that, like, I have no issue with people practicing their faith. In fact, I would never want somebody to push their faith on me, and I would never want to push my faith on somebody else.
Good, because no one wants you to get rid of your religion.
And so the idea,
no one wants that.
So, but when people preemptively go out there and start preemptively passing laws to ban something that's not happening, what you're trying to do is target a very small community because they're different. And this operates. I mean, look, I'm just going to say there's statistical evidence that the president,
Sharia
the vice
law in
president
Michigan is kind of scary.
Simply,
people don't go for that.
Abdul. This is really unbelievable to watch these guys finally get pushed on Sharia law, on the federal budget. Abdul El Sayed goes speechless when asked what the federal budget.
The total number.
Look, while you're out here trying to talk about the broader national budget, I'm a lot more interested in the everyday budgets that Michiganders are thinking about. And that's exactly the budget that Donald Trump and Mike Rogers are blowing up right now. Well, I just don't see why you're so on the side of the billionaires, Jesse, rather than on the side of everyday Michiganders.
No, because I don't want you guys to blow the country up. Do you know how much the federal budget is now?
No, neither do I. Here's exactly
What's the federal budget?
You guys want to, right? Pete Hegseth, who used to work
answer
for
the question.
Do
you know what the federal budget is?
To raise. No. I just want to talk about this. Look, you want to talk about budgets? I'm happy to do that. The guy who used to work on your channel, I think he was like the 6th host on the 5. He wanted to raise our military budget to $1.5 trillion, and you don't seem to be upset about that. What? So we can fight a war we don't know how to get out of? To raise our gas prices $5 a gallon? That doesn't make sense to me, Jesse. We want to talk about the things that we actually should spend on. To me,
I have a feeling, Abdul, you don't even know how much money the government spends every year. Do you know?
Look, the question, Jesse, to me
is, so you don't know. Let me tell you what it is. It's $7 trillion a year. And your plan, Jesse, to take over the healthcare system is $4 trillion.
Here's the problem with it. So to exactly your point,
I mean,
do you know what?
I'm not very good at math. I don't think you're very good at math either, but go ahead.
Clearly you don't. And you don't seem to care. But I don't think most Americans want to spend that much money on military escapades so that the folks stranded on the USS Abraham Lincoln can't even get a sausage for breakfast. I just think that we could do a lot better with our money, Jesse, and I think that's where you and
Guy keeps talking about sausages. I've never seen a meltdown like this. I've never seen more of a nightmare than this. It's in my entire social media feed. The circumcision comment is going to be an all-timer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a nightmare. A nightmare. Michigan is lost for Democrats. That's what I would say after this. That's your soundbite. It's over. It's over. If you're circumcised, you're trans. Jeez. What a car wreck. No one deserves it more. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. Do not vote for Abdul El Sayed.